Hi and very welcome to my channel. My name is Mia Isaksson. I am from Sweden and I'm doing these videos because I want them to be a compass for all the people who might need it on the journey we are on to a better world, which I'm sure that we are very quickly heading to. And of course, it depends on who you are, where you are, and if this doesn't resonate with you, uh, you are very welcome to leave the channel. You don't have to listen to this if you don't like it. This is the best I can give you at the moment. My truth is changing all the time, and you can look at it as a buffet. You can pick whatever you like and leave the rest, save it for later, or just leave it. So what I'm talking about today is how we can see the darkness as something positive. What is really light? What is dark? And why does it even exist? Nowadays, it's a little bit like old-fashioned to talk about dark and black, dark and black, dark and light, black and white. It's a little bit ridiculed. It's like fairy tales. You see it in movies, so it's a very popular theme, but it's not supposed to be reality. So if you think that this is real, people might look at you like, oh, you live in a fairy tale, you live in a book. But it's very popular. We have Lord of the Rings, more or less everybody at least knows about it. We have Harry Potter. We have more or less all the books and videos are in some way about some kind of journey between light and dark. We have the very famous hero's journey, which I will not go into in detail today. But if we think of it as something that is not real, that is only a fairy tale, if it's like fantasy, it will give the darkness the opportunity to do whatever it wants to do without us knowing about it, because we don't really accept that it is something real. So when you deny the darkness, we give it unlimited space. We give it the possibility to act without giving us the possibility to even notice. If we don't accept that it exists, how can we relate to it? How can we stop it? How can we control it? How can we make sure we don't fall victim to it? Put a limit to it? Even know what is dark and what is light? So we need to know it's there, and we need to appreciate it, because the darkness is there to make us, to give us the opportunity to define ourselves, to see, feel, and decide if this is something I want to be. Is this something I want to stand behind? Is this something that defines me, who I am? And this perspective, of course, change all the time. So what I was yesterday is not what I am today. So the darkness is always there to help us guide the way. And if we want more darkness, we are very welcome to walk into the darkness. If we don't want to, we can choose something else. I think we are more or less all familiar with this yin and yang picture, but maybe you haven't really dug into the meaning of it. And there is, like always, a lot of different interpretations out there. And I will give you mine. And it is that everything is balance. Everything works to be in balance. But balance is not static. Balance is not only white or only black. It's not even only gray. If it's static, it will be a dead thing. It's not alive anymore. Excuse me. And the whole yin yang thing is the balance of universe. So everything is always balanced in some perspective. And of course, if we look at it from one day in my life, it could be maybe a very bright day or maybe a very dark day, and this day in itself doesn't seem to be very balanced. But in the long run, in the bigger perspective, there will always be balance somehow. And this duality is here, like I said, so you can define yourself. Duality equals experiences, and when you have experiences, you can develop, you can grow, you can learn how to make better judgment, better choices in the future. And to try to embrace the darkness instead of avoiding it. Know if you can feel in yourself, in the world, everywhere, this yin yang energy is always present. There is always black, there is always white, there is always light in the dark, there is always some darkness in the light. And you can't like try to stay in one spot. If you try to always be in the light, it will not work. That's not even a life. So if you try to avoid the dark sides, the darkness, you will not embrace the whole of you, because you will avoid parts of yourself. So integrate the darkness on one hand, but we also need to be able to separate it, to know what is dark and what is light. So it's like a double process. Like I think this symbol show you, like there is very distinct different. Where is the dark? Where is light? Where is white? Where is black? So we have to separate it, but still integrate it. So even if we are in the white side, we have integrated this black spot, and the same on the other side. And the world is like this, but of course it's not so very well painted, your life out there. Um, of course, in reality, in where we are at the moment, we have a lot of gray scales. We have a lot of also colors. It's not only black and white. This is just a picture so that you can have this image with you. So this image can guide you. This is of course not the reality that we all experience every day. We are here with the free will, so we are free to do stupid things, to make bad choices, to go more into darkness if we want to have the experience. And sometimes we need to get lost in the darkness to really realize that what am I doing here? And that's the way you can navigate again to more light. So it's our free will, and I think that we, on some level, which we are not really aware of here, that we choose the life we have, we choose the experience we have because we know our higher selves know that we have something to learn. We want to grow, we want to have experience, so we embrace this duality to develop. And in war, they say it's good to know your enemy. And if you want to be in more light, if you want to have more light in your life, it's good to know what is love and what is love, light and love. What is it not? What is darkness? For me, light and love is more or less the same thing. Darkness and fear is very connected. I put down some words here, and that's only one perspective of how you can explain light and darkness, of course. There, you could write a book in this topic, so I just wrote some words, sentences that for me define light, love, care, care about others, care about yourself, being positive, try to look at things from a more positive perspective. And knowledge is always important. The more you know, the more experience you have, the wider your perspective will be. The more easy you can also see what is right, what is wrong, what is it that you want. To have balance. Balance is also a very, very bright perspective. When you have balance, you can see the dark, you can see the light, and you can balance in between them. You're not collapsing in one extreme position. You have balance, you embrace everything, like I said before. More awareness makes you also be able to love more. The more you can understand other people and their perspective, the more you can love them. Humility, you will have a heart for everyone, even if they do, from your perspective, crazy stuff. You can realize that they have their perspective. When you can really feel your emotions, when you're not afraid of your emotions, when you can accept them, you can show them in a respectful way. You can be clear. That's also to be clear and not trying to trick, fool, hide, lie. That is darkness. But to try to be as clear as possible, I consider also being in the light. When you can listen to other people and really listen, not only listen because you want them to confirm your point of view, or just you listen a little while because you want them to listen to you, but you're really not interested in others. But if you can really open up yourself and listen to others' perspective, that is also for me a very light perspective. Respect for everything, everyone, and yourself. And it's maybe one of the most important things to really respect yourself, because it's difficult to give someone honestly what you deny yourself. So just have a look into your self-love. Also, living from within, trying to live from the inside and out. So I create on the outside what is important to me on my inside of me, my values, my morals, my opinions, my dreams, my visions are the source from where I create the outside. And if we look at it from the dark perspective, it's the opposite, is when you depend on the outside. You want to have everything. You are struggling to buy all the new stuff. You want to look like the new model. You want to have the new hairstyle. You want to have the house like they show them in advertising. And so it's more, you want to be what you see on the outside instead of creating the outside from what you are inside. And darkness is very related to fear, and living from the outside in is very often fear of not fitting in. You want to be someone, you don't love yourself enough, so you try to make you become something with the help of the outside, which will always make you have some fear, because you will never feel secure, because the outside is changing and it's not a fixed point inside you. So you have to run around and like chasing the outside, and you will always have the fear that not fitting in. If you do it from love yourself, love the world, create stuff from inside out, you will always have this security from inside going out. Darkness is also very good to try to, of course, like darkness doesn't come and say, "Oh, I'm darkness. You want to come along with me?" No. The darkness is trying to trick you, to fool you. Look very light and bright, and very often it looks a little bit too good to be true. It's a common way to put it, when it's like it's the evil in disguise coming and try to look more attractive. It's very often distort things so that you don't really see the truth in them. And the best lie is as close to the truth as possible. And that's what the darkness is doing. It comes like in disguise. And all these consumer things, you look at the nice ads. Oh, you want to have this, you want to look at this, look like that. It's the darkness is really selling you this glamorous outside, and all the time it's tricking you to look more to the outside than to the inside. You get more and more depending on likes on social media or whatever it is that you are looking for. And anything extreme is also, from my point of view, considered very dark. And nowadays in the world, there is so much extreme stuff going on, and the extreme right, the extreme left, the extreme vegans, the extreme meat eaters, it's like whatever. You can see it everywhere. And it's not only extreme, it's so extreme that you can't accept the other side and other people's opinions, so they start to attack each other. The extreme one side attack the other extreme one side, and they go crazy, both of them, in my opinion. So be aware of when this duality goes into the extreme. Of course, darkness is also using, outshining, and judging other people. Of course, we need to do some kind of judgment when we meet someone in a situation. We need to have an opinion, because that's the only way that we can relate to it. But be careful what is in this judging thing. What is it that we really put on other people? How do we make up our opinion about others and other situations and stuff? And like I say, you can define light and darkness in very many ways. So this was only some of my thoughts. From here, I want to talk about the values that we are being served. If you look at television, news, movies, songs, music videos, social media, advertising, all of this, you can, if you look a little bit, if you scratch this beautiful surface, you can detect that there is a lot of fear under it. Big fear is not being accepted, not being good enough, not be fit enough, don't be young enough, don't be beautiful enough. You have to show how happy you are or how perfect your life is on social media. And this trend has become more and more strong since I started Facebook, like a long time ago. It has just been escalating, and it's more and more. You can't even talk about, social media is full of course, there is everything out there, but a lot of people wants to show their very happy surface. It's also very often fear of the dangerous world we live in. A lot of advertising is about security, different alarms. You need to have this alarm in your house, you need to have pepper spray, you need to have this alarm in your mobile phone, you need a bunch of insurances, and it tells you, both the advertising and the news is really brainwashing you every day that the world is a dangerous place. And as I talked about before, as we create our life, we create the future. So if we are all the time running around thinking the world is a dangerous place, it will be, because that is what we create. So for me, that is definitely the dark side. Create fear, creates more fear. When we think about all the risks, all the danger, all what can happen, we are afraid more or less all the time. We have a lot of adrenaline going for a lot of things. This is what we create. Also, a lot of what we consume on the media, all of it, is a lot of adverts about games, fast food, snacks, sweets, quick fix, cosmetic surgeries. You need to be beautiful. It's a lot about the medications, medicine. It's not so much about eat healthy food. It's more about buy this whatever product that will give you whatever you need. So the advertising is not really helping us to create a better life. It's very often leads us into even more destructive behavior. And that's definitely not prevention from having all the problems that we will sooner or later have if we participate in all this that they want to sell us. We are also supposed to have a career, be fit, have a perfect house, the perfect little family. Women are supposed to be able to do the career and take care of the children at the same time, and we should be very stress resistant. If you apply for a job, very often they even put it there in black and white to say you need to be able to handle a lot of stress. You need to be able to multitasking, do at least four things at the same time. So we're not even hiding it, and I don't think this is really what we are made for. And I definitely don't think that is really the best way that a society can take care of its population, the kids, how kids should grow up with all this going on around. And this become very like normal in our lives, so very often we don't even think about it as darkness. We don't think about it as something less good, not perfect. So I think it's good that we just think a little bit about how does the environment look like. How do we live? Which values guide your steps along the way in your life? And how much do you follow all this that is going on, that is trying to get your attention all the time? And nowadays it's more hard to find a quiet place, find peace and quiet, because you're supposed to be available on your mobile phone 24/7, and there is ads coming up. Even there it's clinging and ticking and making noises to get your attention, so you can never really relax. And try to think a little bit of what is it that you give your attention to. What do you believe in? uh, what what values is it that really guide you? What is helping you know where to put the foot down the next step? Are you sure where you are heading? And I made this nice little picture myself to try to show you the road. They say stairway to heaven and, and highway to hell. And if we don't realize that this dark side is really there to tempt us, to try to get us in there, and we don't have to define exactly what this evil is and why, and we don't have to go the whole way down, but we can definitely see that all the advertising trying to sell us stuff is not really wanting the best for us. It's very often drags us off this road we are on. And if you look at this picture, I don't know if you are in the sunbed, I will try to explain it to you. It's like uh, very white on one side, very black on the other side, and in the middle it's like a mess of white, black, and gray on this road we are walking on. And I think this mess is like a good life. It might look a little bit messy, but I think this little bit of chaos in the middle, when you try to find out what is what I want and what is it that I don't want. This duality, the balance between good and bad, this yin yang thing. If you look at the yin yang symbol, it's very clear what is black and what is white, and this I think shows more what lives look like and what I think it should look like, because we are here to be a little bit confused and walk a little bit to the left, to the right, and see if this is where I want to be, if this is not. But be aware of when we go too far to one direction, when we lost the vision of where we are going. I found this picture on the internet and I think it's very, very describing. They say a picture can tell you more than 1,000 words, and I think this one really do. If you don't see it, it's two people in a bus in a mountain road up in the mountains, and one person is sitting on the side looking into the mountain wall, and it's very dark and gray. And he say, "Oh, it's so over," and he looked very depressed, and he's just staring into this gray wall. On the other side, we have a person sitting, smiling, looking over the valley, and the sun is looking like it's starting to get up and shine all over everything. And this person say the same thing. It's so over, and this person is so happy. So the night, the darkness, whatever this person has been through is over. And the other one is depressed and think it's so over because all the good stuff is like over. Now it's only dark. And also this is a little bit like a yin yang picture, showing that you can be in the dark or you can be in the light, depending on where you are in your life. It's also depending on where you focus at, and you can be sure it doesn't matter which side in this bus you are on at the moment. If we take a photo an hour later or a day later, a year later, this will look different. So maybe those person now switch side, and the one looking happy here is now staring into the gray wall and feel depressed and think, oh, this good thing I had is now over. So everything will change, and it's a matter of perspective. And if you can think about it like whatever it is, it will look different from another point of view. Whatever I'm seeing at the moment, I will have another experience, another day, another time, sooner or later. And if you feel like it is too dark, just try to have this image that if you just turn your head away, maybe you will see something totally different. Your perspective is not the only truth. There is always not only one other possible perspective, there is loads of them. Here is my chaos road again, and I put here a light in the dark. Even if it is dark, you can always turn a light on, light a candle. So it's up to you. If it looks dark, light a candle. Also, I put a heart here to you can have the image of that the heart. If you really go into your heart, you will find light, you will find love, because the heart is love. If you try to not think of the things but try to feel them with your heart, then it's very often more easy to get a more genuine feeling, like a light, bright, loving feeling about everything, even the things that looks dark and maybe are not so easy. Maybe a situation which is very hard or something. You can, if you try to have the heart as a navigation point, then you can find your way to the light, to the light side. Also, nature is, for very many people, a good source of love, a good source of energy. It's a way to get balanced, to get grounded, to get away from all this consumer stress society, whatever we try to become and fighting for. Nature is always there. Nature is always the same. Nature never lies. Nature never try to trick us into something. It's always totally honest. You can hug a tree, you can go barefoot in the grass, you can uh, go hiking in the mountains, pick a flower, work in the garden, just listen to birds singing. It's really healing. So to help you navigate, nature is very often a good advice. If you go into a forest, you get away from all this noise, you get away from all these influences. If you don't bring your mobile phone, or at least turn it off, you can then just try to be with yourself, with nature, and get back to your roots, because we are connected to nature. And nature is more real than all this technology stuff, and it can make you more, calm you down, make you more feeling more profound, rooted, balanced, happy. Just enjoy the beauty in nature, which is always there. So as a contrast to this stressful, consuming world we are living in, nature is there, and nature is for free. That's why they don't do advertising about go out in the nature, because it's for free. It's always there. You don't have to buy anything. And to end all this on an even more positive note, the light always wins if you allow it to. So it's up to you, but the light is always there. The source is always there to give you energy, to give you power, to give you light, and to fulfill whatever dream you have, if you reach out for it, if you open yourself up to it. And I love this image I found with this is for me the nice world that we are moving towards, where more and more people will be more and more aware of what they focus on. If we all focus on an image like this or similar things, like the world is really a beautiful place full of flowers and love, and then it can really be what it's supposed to be, a beautiful place with a lot of loving people caring about each other, and a lot of time to take care of ourselves and the world. So if we don't run around in this rat race, chasing all the things, buying all the things, we could all change this to something so much better. And at the end, because light comes from source, and source is the only real thing that exists. So light is always stronger. It comes from the divine creator. It will always be the source that wins, if we want to talk about winning. But everything that you want is there for you. You just have to reach out for it. That is all for today. Hope to see you soon again. take care, and as always, I would love some comments. See you! Bye bye!